Gang, gang, gang. Gang, gang, fan bang, squad, bang, bang. I'm back. You guys miss me? Not really? That's all right. All right, so it's been a while. I think 2 years, only 2 years. What have I missed? I mean, I've still been around, obviously, on Twitter, on Telegram, in the private group, if you're in there. And yeah, let's catch up. Let's catch up. I left 2 years ago saying what? Stagflation. I'm still right. Market's still up. I'm a little wrecked. I've been shorting it for 2 years. And it's okay. I've been long cryptos. Those have been doing great. Except maybe Richard Hart coins. These bags are getting heavy, baby. I'll talk about Richard in the stream and Hex and Purse Chain. And then we'll talk about the macro. And yeah, I'm a little rusty. It's been a while. So bear with me. I'm a little bit under the weather as well. And hopefully you guys had a great Christmas. If you did not, you know, it's okay. I've had plenty of bad Christmases alone. And it just makes the Christmases in the future all that more appreciative, right? All right, so let's talk about, first let's talk about Hex and crypto and Bitcoin. The stream. So Richard came out with a real humble, wholesome stream. And you could probably just skip the first half hour. He's pretty much just shitting on our EHEX bags. You know, the market decided, right? The market maker maybe. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm a big EHEX guy. I really am. And I think in the long term, it's going to do well if there's no more interventions from the, you know, from certain wallets and whatnot. But I think EHEX is the OG, and it's deflationary. And we've got a lot of perpetuals still on there. Hopefully you guys didn't sell those. Hopefully you guys didn't sell everything, or it depends when you sold. So it's kind of a great thing that I wasn't streaming for the past 2 years, telling you guys to buy a falling knife, right? Because now you can come in with dry powder if you have any. Most people don't because inflation's wiping them out. But my advice was, if you remember, keep your job. Get a second job, maybe a third or fourth. And what do you think I've been doing? That's what I've been doing for the past 2 years. And working 6, 7 days, 4 jobs at once, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, like risking my life out there, climbing trees like a monkey. building homes, like literally risking my life, like putting on vests, doing high end security details and stuff like that, contract work. You got to do what you got to do, right? While you could do it. So as inflation's rising, I'm like, well, while there's still employment out there, you have to take on as much as you can because we're getting to the point where all my work kind of dried up. It did. So what does that mean? It means we're getting there, like the big one. And I'm talking about the big one. And I know everyone's excited about Orange Man, Donald J. Pump, right? Well, listen, there's only so much he could do, and I'll talk more about that later. So, let's talk about Richard's stream. Because, there's so much FUD. I've been sitting on the sidelines just watching everything unfold in the past 2 years. And I'm a little grossed out, a little icked, a little disgusted with a lot of the community. Not everyone. Some guys are great. They're holding steady, strong. Unfortunately, a lot of guys, and you know what? And I told the private members, I'm like, watch. A lot of these streamers, they want to be rock stars. They can keep streaming. They don't want to work. They think the bull market's going to come back faster than they anticipated, and now they're, you name it, man. We've got streamers out there begging. We've got meme coins, pump and dumps, grifting, shilling, you name it. It's fucking disgusting, to be honest. And that said, I mean, if I really like a meme coin, like, you guys are gonna know. You know what I mean? Not to be a hypocrite, but I would like to find a meme coin where we could just kind of, it's our little meme coin, right? It's our little safe space, our little pumper, as you may. And there's nothing wrong with having some fun and not taking it too seriously, not mortgaging your house and buying fucking fart coin, all right? And everything else on purse chain. There's, like, we'll talk about it. I'm going to make more videos, God willing. You guys might have to financially support me, though, because times are getting rough. Listen, making these videos, like I said, takes a tremendous amount of time, especially if you want quality, you want some awesome intros, outros, to maybe go viral, get more subscribers. I could do more onboarding, get some flexing going and whatnot, but only I can't do it alone. Richard can't do it alone, and it is what it is, right? So let's go into the video. Like I said, the first half hour, not impressed. As you could tell, if you look at the prices, red candles, this is the day after Christmas, and the market has spoken. Maybe because the EHEX, he had to bring that up again. Hopefully, a lot of people, like, a good example. Look at Elon Musk. Huge ego, right? And ego is what gets you where you are. Like, if you want tremendous success, you have to have an ego that drives you, propels you. But it's a double-edged sword, like a lot of things, right? And a lot of people let their ego get to them. And that's how titans fall. And I'm not saying Richard's that or doing that. I mean, the outrage marketing, I thought it was great. I fucking loved every second of it. It shook out a lot of midwits. Like, you guys have to realize, there's two types of people in Hex and Purse Chain, right? You've got low IQ, and they'll just go along with anything. They'll just go, they'll go down with the shit. Once they're in, they're not leaving. And then at the other spectrum, right, you have your geniuses who get it. And then you have your midwits. This is your exit liquidity. Because midwits, they might have decent high IQ, and they might be very specialized in many fields. The problem with these guys are like I think of Dennis when I think of midwits. Um, Very intelligent, whatnot, but when it comes to emotions and investing, they'll let their emotions get to him. So their uh, emotional intelligence, EIQ, we'll get to them, and they usually sell at the bottoms. And let's face it, a lot of people got to get shaken out. The true believers, those are the ones who are going to stay and who will probably get rewarded one way or another, right? And that's how it's worked in the past with all the cryptos. All right. But it is difficult. It's been rough. Real rough. And another reason why I wanted to make videos. I really did. But listen, I was working. I had to take the work while I was out there. And listen, that doesn't mean I'm like swimming in dough because I've made some mistakes. So my plan was I short the stock market and the equity bubble. It's obviously in a giant bubble. And I'm long cryptos if I'm wrong because cryptos will pump as long as equities are pumping, right? Problem with that is my cryptos didn't pump and the equities kept pumping because I'll talk more about why, but I'm wrecked on both ends. And I'll admit it. I have no shame in admitting it. Now, I'm still holding on. I'll be fine. I'll be fine because it's real long in the tooth, guys. I mean, I know everyone's excited about the orange guy, but I'll go more into depth. All right. Now, again, let's go back. So Richard talked a lot about legality, freedom. Yeah, we're losing our freedom. We're constantly losing. Ever since COVID, man, clown world. You have to understand, like, we know, right? The ruling class in their little ivory towers and their donors who are the top 1%, who own all the assets, all their wealth in stocks. Although CEOs have been dumping, Warren Buffett's pretty much all out. Biggest cash hoard ever in human history. I would not bet against that guy. He's real insider. Of all the insiders, he is like the ultimate insider. He's also great friends with Bill Gates, if you didn't know. And NVIDIA CEO, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars cashing out and whatnot. But I'm off topic. I'm ranting. Back to Richard's video. Very wholesome, very hearty. It was bullish. I do believe he's very, very prepared and intelligent, and you have to believe in him. It is what it is. And but even without him, like eventually Hex and Pulse Chain will thrive no matter what. It'll just, might take a little longer. But talked a lot about the legality. I was never really worried about the SEC, to be honest. And Finland and Interpol, like obviously it's a shakedown. They want their money. And the Matrix, like Andrew Tate talks about, right? It is gonna come for you. Like, you guys think Richard never thought about the system coming after his ass? Come on. There's no way someone makes it to that level without the system coming after you. It just is what it is. They don't like competition. If anything, they hate competition. And if you think about it, I have to be careful with my words. I still do. I am going to be less censoring myself. There's no more commercials. Fuck all that. And I can swear on YouTube, I guess. So that's great. There's a huge bag holder of Ethereum. Now, trading wise, not the best. And it's probably because, when you buy that much, everyone's going to notice. Everyone knows. And I don't think Vitalik's a big fan. He's not. There's a reason why we had to create Pulse Chain, right? Because he had that update, and he really screwed over the stakers on Ethereum. And that was, I believe, intentional. And I don't think he's a big fan. Also, the system itself probably doesn't like it, right? But it is an insurance policy, I believe. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And again, long term, I mean, BlackRock's buying Ethereum, guys. The ETFs are coming out. And it has a lot of catching up to do to Bitcoin. Historically speaking, the cycles, Bitcoin starts dropping, Ethereum pumps, and then the altcoins pump. Now, it was different back in like 2016, 17, and 18, right? Because, well, Ethereum was new, gas fees weren't that high. It was the ICO bubble. Now, Ethereum's going to move a lot slower, but that doesn't mean that once Bitcoin, it gets real heavy, surpasses 100,000 with Michael Saylor's infinity money glitch, people are not going to look at Ethereum like that's at a discount. I might as well, position myself and put a little more in Ethereum, put a little more risk over there, right? Diversify within the crypto space. There's no diversifying in crypto. It all moves together. The tide raises all ships and whatnot. But yeah. So that's my thought with ETH. Now, right now I'm looking at Bitcoin. It's at 95,565. It's negative 4% today. Do we have more room to run? That's the big question. That's what everyone wants to know. And I'm not even looking at the chart. I mean, I'm looking at the chart. It's a little bit of a bull flag on Bitcoin on the daily, but can we get a final push, like a blow off top going into 2025? I believe so. I think it's a coin flip. It really is. And it's risky. It's always risky at the end. And the reason I say at the end is because I'll talk more about that later, but we'll see. I'm going to make more videos probably later this week. I've got a little more time on my hands now, guys. So, but I need your support. Go to my website, links below, and for a cup of coffee, a Starbucks, like a tall, I think that's what they call them, tall. It's like $20, like a little lemon slice. I don't know. I haven't been to Starbucks like 20 years. Yeah, $20 a month. Entry price 100. Honey, because I got a dog to feed, guys. Oh, I'm gonna upload a video towards the end of this if you stick around. It's really funny. I bought a little drone. This thing's sweet, awesome. Thing follows you around. It's like, and it follows you, and you can't run away from it. And it could go up to 35 miles per hour. I'm gonna have a blast making videos with this, especially in the summer. And I did make some videos this fall, riding around my motorcycle. I'll upload some of that later. Just checking out the housing market and whatnot. So I'm excited. I'm excited for 2025. It's gonna be fun, guys. All the opportunities I believe are coming in 2025. The last 2 years was, in my opinion, kind of a wash. And you should have been just working your ass off. And you should still keep working your ass off and be very mindful of what you do with your time, because time is way more precious than ever before when we're talking about a stagflationary, possibly runaway inflationary environment, or even a depression, right? Time just becomes more valuable in the bad times versus the good. It just does. But all the opportunities are during big cycle shifts. Even small shifts within bigger, larger macro shifts. Is the stimulus cycle over? No, I still believe we got more to go. One more big one, all right? But it's not a straight line, guys. It just isn't. So what the hell was I talking about? See how rusty I am? Anyways, so Richard's video, he talked a lot about the legality and what's going on. He has the best lawyers in the world. He's gonna be fine, guys. Gonna be fine. I don't even know why people care so much. Like, honestly, I thought this was fucking DeFi. Like Pulse Chain's DeFi. Guys, it doesn't matter. Like, oh my god, this, like, it's gonna be fine. Believe me, this asshole, you like him or not, he's smart and he's been preparing. He knows. He knows what he's doing. He knows. It'll be fine. And you should listen to it if you haven't. Listen to it twice. Some people are cutting it up. They're putting it on X, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter. And yeah, every time someone says X, when they're talking about former Twitter, I think about what? X. And hexes really are everywhere. I see them everywhere. It's crazy. I even got a skin on my drone for it's a hex skin. So yeah, and be careful, guys. Stop being degenerates. It's fucking disgusting. Do I fuck around? Do I throw a couple hundred, in this meme and that meme? Do I get bored sometimes? I'm like, this might pump 10x, or God willing, like I know I talked about wrapped BTC when it was like $40 on Pulse Chain. I talked about PDI and all that. If you know you're speculating, then speculate. It's when you take it a little too seriously and you forget to sell and you don't take profits. Always take some off and then rotate that shit back into RH coins. Because one day it's just going to pump and it's not going to stop. You're going to lose your mind. All right. I've seen this. We've been through this before. And listen, he likes to punish everyone at the perfect moment. I've noticed that. So I don't know who's even left holding large hex and pulse chain bags. I mean, so many people have been washed out over the years. It's crazy. It's insane. And it's awesome. I love it. And people do it to themselves. Like, let's be real. People do it to themselves. Again, I didn't even sacrifice a lot for Pulse Chain and PulseX because I kind of anticipated this. I was like, listen, guys, just kind of hold on to your hexes. And I think that's worked out pretty well. And out of all the RH coins, I really like the incentive token because it's low flow. It's really easy to pump. I'm just putting that out there. But listen, the burn's pretty big on. They're all gonna pump. All right. You should have all of them. I talked about, providing liquidity, so you get incentive tokens, and then maybe you could sell those and buy more RH coins, buy perpetual coins. I'm still bullish on those. Listen, the furries thing they were doing, the squirrel, the gophers. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I don't agree with everything that everyone does, and nobody's perfect. But I still believe Dipcatcher and Gold Key probably innovated the best out of anyone on Hex. All right, guys, and credit, they should get credit for that, and it's still going to pay dividends. All right, what else? I'm not really talking much about what RH said on his Christmas stream. He needs to stream more. Like, bro, I don't care if you have to put like tinfoil all up on the walls like John McAfee. First of all, that'd be hilarious. Do it. But why not? Why not? Like, why? The market has spoken. We want you to stream more. We need, like, I think it's good. And you could be careful what you talk about. Whatever. I'll listen, every one stream Richard does, I'll do like 2. How about that? Not that anyone gives a shit. I'm probably gonna get like 200 views and I'm wrecked. Like, we'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna have to build this back up. It's gonna be difficult. No more commercials. Like Google AdSense I got kicked off like over a year ago. Good. I used to thought that helped boost my videos, but it didn't. I'm like, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what I could do. I'm also gonna try to go on Rumble and whatnot. But what else? So Richard talked about setting precedents, and people do need to like sue. And the reason this is really important is because I forgot what it's called, but the administrative state took a really huge hit from the Supreme Court like a few months back. And what that means is they can't just make up nilly-willy fucking laws like they've been doing. Like every government body's just been making up like laws by creed. And then they're all unconstitutional. And people need to set precedents. And now's the time to do it when there's massive economic hardship coming. And listen, I mean, Elon Musk seems pretty based. He just does. Do I trust him? Hell no. Hell no. But I think they read the tea leaves and they see where everyone is way more, I don't want to say woke, I want awake to reality versus 6 years ago. Just think about it. Just think about where everyone was mentality wise, like 2016 and below versus now. People get it. People know the system's corrupt as shit. And they're pissed because they're all getting hosed. Really, really bad. I mean, I'm talking, once people understand the inflation, property tax, all this, and they're going to understand because now they can't ignore it anymore because they can't fucking afford McDonald's. All right. You could go up to anyone on the street and just start talking about like the economy, and they're willing to talk. They're like excited to talk. They're excited to complain. And I think the system sees it. They see the writing on the wall, and they probably want to manage it. And listen, we're going to get some events, right? Events in quotations. I mean, we've got drones flying around. And who knows? Something's going to pop off, right? We got geo tensions and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I think they're just going to print massive amounts. And I think when you're looking at the RH ecosystem, there's timing involved. And if you just hold on, and listen, there's no point of selling at these prices. You're just stupid. Listen, I don't care if you end up under a bridge. Like, we're gonna go through hard times. All right, next 6 months probably really fucking hard. Not 9 months probably, and it's still gonna be harder and harder as time goes on because inflation and the job market now. But you just have to hang in there. The best chance you still have is cryptos for quick mad gains, and to keep the gains and the savings will be physical metals. I did call kind of the bottom in gold physical, not mining stocks. I haven't talked about mining stocks since I sold them in 2021. See, sometimes the best calls are the calls you don't make, that you don't tell people to buy, right? Anyways, yeah. It's going to be volatile as all hell. And if you're on your toes and you hang in there, biggest opportunities are coming. With, with blood in the streets, metaphorically speaking, like volatility like you've never seen before. It's going to get scary at times. We're looking at, who knows? All right. That said, they can't stop crypto. They're not going to stop Hex and Pulse chain. It's very decentralized. You could download it on a laptop. I highly suggest you use Linux. If you don't know how, it's fine. Just have a laptop specifically. I mean, you should have this by now, specifically just for crypto, and don't surf the web with it. Don't make sure you check certificates. Stop degenning. Have a degen separate wallet with a separate laptop. If you're clicking on stupid front ends and whatnot. All right, guys, use I like Trezor, and just listen to Richard's Christmas stream. So let's talk about the macro. I just want to get this video wrapped up. How long have I been streaming? Wow, 30 minutes. I can still do it. Let's get rid of this huge, heavy hex bag. What do we have in here? What do we have in the hex bag? Let's see what we got in here. No. 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 Oh, I forgot it. It's not in here. Damn it. All right. Well, tune in until next time, and we'll talk about it. So, macro, real quick. I warned in 2022 if they don't let the market deflate, like I'm talking 50% hit, and small and mid cap stocks did take a 50, but they didn't let the big caps, the Magnificent Seven, I call them Blade Runner stocks, Blade Runner, AI, computers, drones, everything, track, trace, database. We're gonna, a lot of it's bullshit. With time, though, they're gonna get there. Unless we get to like freaking Mad Max. Excuse me. Let me get a drink here. And you know what? You might want to sit down for this. Smoke a cigarette. I picked up smoking again. It's fantastic. I love it. I mean, we don't know how long we're gonna live. I mean, the world's pretty fucked up. Let's be real. So you might as well enjoy it, and we're probably gonna be fine. But historically speaking, all right. So, plus these are organic cigarettes. Those are good. Good for longevity. I heard they boost testosterone. All right. I still jog like 8 miles. Might as well do it while you're young. I'm like 40, but you know. Where was I? Okay, so 2022, I said they have to let it deflate. They did not. Janet Yellen and Powell, they're such pussies, and they had their foot on the gas and the brake at the same time, right? Yellen's issuing short-term treasury bonds, basically printing money, while Powell stopped. They barely touched their balance sheet and started unloading, right? And because of that, we ended up with stagflation. Now, Powell did raise rates, and I think he raised it a lot higher than he thought he could do it. And I remember I kept saying, like, once we get above 4%, stuff starts breaking. Then we hit 4.5. I mean, shit's really breaking. We hit 5, it's all going to blow up. Well, what do you think the banking crisis was in 2023, of winter 2023, with what was it in California? What was the bank? The tech bank. See, I already forgot. You guys know what I'm talking about, that banking crisis, and then they bailed them out. Basically bailed out all the VCs and some politicians, some Chinese billionaires. Of course. But then they'll let like small banks in rural America just collapse after fraud. Anyways, they did that. And then out of nowhere came the AI mania. They were already doing AI, okay, in like 2020, 2021, like around COVID, and then a few years later. But all of a sudden, it just exploded out of nowhere late or summer of 2023. That really, really caught me off guard, because I didn't see anything on the horizon. I'm like, this is it, guys. I mean, the Blade Runner stocks, the Magnificent Seven, they've had their run. It's already done. But then they came out with AI. And then Yellen just keeps issuing short-term treasury bonds, essentially printing money. Okay. And then what happens? Uh, Brent Johnson's milkshake theory starts playing out. The dollar starts strengthening while all of this is happening. But then it really took off just like a few months ago when Powell, out of nowhere, started cutting rates with the stock market at all-time highs. Unemployment, according to their bullshit data, doing fine, right? So let's cut rates. Okay, why? If everything's doing great, right? The economy's so strong and resilient. Why are they cutting rates? Earlier this spring and summer, right? Obviously, the economy hasn't been doing great. Not for the poor middle class. For the top 10%, fantastic if you have assets. You got money in money mutual funds with high rates. You're just raking in 4 or 5% yield a year. That's not bad. It's like 50 grand on $1,000,000. It's not bad. Tax, they're taxed differently as well. So they start cutting rates. Now, Powell did hint towards like the jobs data is probably bullshit and it's political, which it was. And they wanted to hold everything together for the elections. And they did. And I didn't think they were going to be able to pull it off because there was so much going on, right? With the geotensions, everything's so bubbly and insane, doesn't even make sense. And I've been paying attention to the markets. Again, I still have my private group. I'm in there every day. We had some good trades. My VIX positions got annihilated, but my other positions they're doing great. They're in the money. But for time being, for like a year, they were not performing that great. But all you have to do is hold on. But the market hasn't crashed. We had a couple down days of like 1,000 points, this and that, which is absolutely nothing. The stock market could crash 50% and we're still in a bullish trend. If you make a trend line, I'll make a chart later. So Powell starts cutting rates. He even did a 50 basis point rate cut, that was the big mistake. That's when he royally screwed up. Because now we're getting stagflation. Inflation is starting to trend back up. Now, what does this mean? Okay. Because Janet Yellen has been propping up the stock market for the rich, essentially, so she could do her speaking engagements to rake in all the money later on, for Wall Street and the banks. The U.S. government now they maxed out the credit card. You see, they have to roll over all of that short-term debt, like trillions and trillions of dollars. And the interest alone is over $1 trillion. It's like 1.3 or 1.6, something insane. It's like getting almost it's like 40% of tax receipts, something insane. And tax receipts, guess what happens? They collapse when the economy goes into a recession or depression. So if tax receipts collapse, how are they going to pay the interest on their freaking loans that are going to have to be rolled over into even higher rates in the next 2 years? Same shit goes for corporate bonds. No one talks about that. And that's why, my friends, the 10-year yield, which is the most important, and the 30-year yield, the yield curve is rising. It's going up. It actually does this every time before a recession. But this time, it might just go up and stay up and keep going higher. That's the risk we're running. Nobody talks about this. Well, people are starting to talk about it. Peter Schiff has always talked about it. But, it's one thing to be right, like, within a year or two. But when you're right 10 years in advance, you're kind of wrong. So the 10-year yield right now is at 4.6. That's insane. That's really high with the amount of debt outstanding for everything. And the 30-year yield is at 4.8. The 2 month or the 1 month is at 4.3, and that's actually rising. It's the 3 month and the 6 month are both at around 4.3 something. It's all going to keep rising the more Powell cuts rates. And everyone thought, like, when Powell cuts rates, yields are going to go down, right? The Fed's cutting rates. The Fed doesn't control rates. Inflation does. The bond market is smart. They're anticipating more inflation, especially with Trump's tariffs and everything that are going to happen. It is what it is. Wars are extremely inflationary. It's bad. It's really bad. I do not think there's any way to avoid some short-term massive freaking pain. Even Elon Musk hinted towards it. All right, guys. And Trump, he didn't say anything bullish about the stock market. So a reporter asked him, like, so, your policies, your deregulations, this and that, they're great for the stock market, right? Or what do you think? And he actually said something negative. He was like, well, they've been going up for a while now. And everyone right now, believe it or not, is super bullish on the economy, even though everyone is tapped out credit-wise, and they basically can't service the debt. And the only way bond yields come down is if equities kind of crash. They have to. They have to let like a Koof-like scenario happen or create one. I'm just saying. Sharp crash. Solid 6 months of hell. That'll get rates back down, and then they could start bailing everything out again. And then they could also roll over the debt. But they can't do it with just pumping the stock market and everything else. Everything will probably dump. Oil can't get above 70. Sure, is it manipulated? Sure, but like I think demand's just not existent because the global economy is basic. Global economy is already in a recession. China is like in a housing depression. Their ghost cities have like collapsed. Europe, I don't know what they're doing over there. I see like French style guillotine someday pretty soon. Like it's bad. They're burning wood. The green policies led to them burning wood. They're deindustrialized. And listen, like the U.S. at the end of the day will sacrifice Europe. Fuck it. Like, you know what? Bring all your industry over here to the U.S. We need jobs anyways. And we're getting rid of this cheap labor we've got over here now that imported illegally. And, they create shit work anyways. It is what it is, guys. It's true. The houses they've been building, they're falling apart. You're better off buying an older home. That's why actually older homes are more expensive than new homes. And also the owners, the boomers, it's like the retirement plan. I talk a lot of crap about boomers. I do, and I love it. But that's because I grew up with the in the 90s. I know them. I know them very well. And but I do feel sorry for them. What's going to come for a lot of them, especially the ones on fixed income, and it's going to be bad because you have to understand the Federal Reserve. They say they have two mandates. One is inflation and employment. Not really. Their real mandate is the banks and the government, and they have to make a decision, right? Do we let the government default and let the banks go under? Or I don't know about the banks, but because I don't know if they could bail out the banks this time. That's how big it is. or do they just bail everything out and bail the rich out basically and everyone with assets and just have runaway inflation and damn the poor and middle class and retirees? Because that's not going to work out either, right? People cannot handle, I believe people cannot handle another year of 6% inflation. And, but here's the problem. If they don't do this right, we're going to get the best of both hell, which is like everyone loses their jobs. They can't bail everything out. Everything blows up. And we have high inflation. So that's why the only way the Powell could time this right and they're never going to get a soft landing. It's going to be a crash landing no matter what. The only question is, can you survive it or not? Their best bet is to let the stock market seriously crash. Just freaking boom, 70% down. If they could do that, sure, there's going to be a lot of unemployment and whatnot, but the deflation that comes with it allows them to save what's left of the economy and roll over all the federal debt and be able to pay people's retirement and stuff like that. And listen, Wall Street really pumped everyone's 401k with garbage. And listen, I don't want to get too much into things. I don't want to make this an hour-long video. Where am I? Oh my God, 46 minutes. I mean, I was hoping to keep it at 25. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now. And Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. Leave in the comment section what you guys want me to talk about, what you guys want me to do. What do you want? What do you want? And I'm gonna try to make that possible. Again, I'm gonna put a donation address below the video because tips are gonna be tax-free according to Trunk, right? So why not? Yeah, and join my private group. It's a lot of the guys, some of the guys killing it speculation wise with some of the meme coins and even other coins in crypto. And it's like it's a mastermind, right? That's what MMG stands for. So I'm not like a genius, but we all put our minds together and sometimes we get some real bangers out there. I'm talking like 100x's and whatnot. Are all my calls good? No. I've been calling for the crash for a while, and they just keep pulling every trick they can out of the hat. It's really mind blowing. Which tells me they're really afraid or beyond corrupt and evil, and they are, and stupid. And thank God that sweet old lady freaking Yellen's gone. I do not know how Trump's going to pull this off. I'm sure he's going to do some cool stuff, though. He is. I mean, if he does just 25% of what he promised, that's just good. That's good. We just couldn't handle another 4 more years. Although I will say, I'll talk about some of the good stuff Biden actually did. He did do a few good things. I'll give credit where credit's due. All right, guys. Yes, punch them likes. Leave anything in the comments section. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I'll probably make a video before New Year's. I'm going to try to make as many videos as humanly possible. I do need your help because my work has dried up and I'm starting to struggle now. Listen, I didn't stick around and rug pull you guys. All right, I would never do that. I'm not. I actually have a moral compass because what goes around comes around. It does. It always does. It always comes back. Karma's a bitch. All right, guys, and be careful who you listen to. And let's crush it in 2025. All right, guys.
But the fire is so delightful, and since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Man, it doesn't show said it's